Yeah, so that is actually
tree.
quite interesting that they place it now to the importance that it has to be picked up in the first place.
Dragon Knight.
Oh my gosh, this is
Wow.
high-speed drafting.
They coming in knowing what they want to get here. The DK versus Ember, we've seen this mid matchup often when the just as a kind of, soft counter pick to the Ember. Does well in lane, gives you an insta stun to catch the Ember so he can't just remnant away.
10 seconds remaining.
Last series though, the Ember actually
5
was
seconds
farming just
remaining.
as well as the DK for a long while. I know we've seen it go to the extreme where the Ember absolutely just comes out a broken man.
Yeah. It seems depending on like the mid lane, there's obviously some skill aspect. It's a lane I've never seen the Ember win. It's either even like you say you've trade farm or DK can maybe 60-40 or even 70-30 like best case.
Yep.
The Mirana pickup here, have we seen her yet in SEA DPC? I feel like we have.
I don't know about I can't think of any this tour, but yeah, last tour, I mean, C was the region that I feel like Mirana's kind of like one of the signature heroes of the region. Usually C teams are picking and playing Mirana more than other regions.
I think we've seen Mirana.
We've seen her twice.
Yeah.
And she has a 50% win rate at the moment.
She's
There you go.
great, like, just with all their heroes. They have so much lockdown. Like, this is something Polaris do have a lot of right now. They have so much lockdown. Mars, Mirana, classic combo, just spear into the
Yeah.
arrow. She can rotate from the off lane to mid lane, get the DK stun into an arrow. Like, there's a lot of fear here. I don't know if SMG wanted to put Enigma on a core and just take something like Abaddon that could really disrupt everything Polaris has right now.
Ooh. Yeah, I kind of like that idea, but like what Death Problem said, the one thing I did with Mirana, it's just you can just arrow the Enchantress creep too.
Yep.
Seems nice.
Do you feel that SMG might need to look a little bit towards having something with the lockdown? Something more reliable in that last pick?
I think they need to carry though.
they're
is the
okay.
thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about this Enigma so much. They don't have any BKB piercing disable on Polaris, so if he gets a BKB,
Yeah.
like, he can do whatever he wants. They do have Ember, like, running around with chains. They don't have hard lockdown, so something like, I don't know, Morphling could potentially be scared. Oh no, Morphling's banned.
I do-
They thought ahead, baby.
It does
Thank
feel
you.
a bit like they need something to kind of frontline. Like they have Ember's melee here, but it doesn't really feel like they have that good hero to kind of, be a body in front. Like it could come from the carry perhaps, but like ban Timbersaw, I think because to me it's just like who's standing in front? Who's getting gone on?
Yeah, I'm not sure unless... Yeah, no, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm thinking about SMG as a team because in my head I was about to start running through typical carries like a Jug or something.
Yeah.
Well, Jug's
Fair.
banned now, but that's what I was thinking of. And I was like, okay, well, if it's SMG, what are they actually going to pick? It's like maybe a Leshrac is going to come out, maybe a Bristleback.
Yeah, Bristle's kind of a cool idea, but maybe not the right carry against like DK Mars. Like
This
that's
is-
not the situation for it.
Is it not bad? Like with an Axe, I feel like they struggle
Okay.
and get kited pretty hard, but
Ooh.
Radiant team pick.
oh my god, it's happened. Our first pudge.
Carry Pudge.
Yes.
It's a carry.
It's
happening.
Time we're sitting in SEA. I hate it.
Ooh.
I don't want to sit on my screen.
Well, no one cares about your opinion.
That's fair. No one does.
I'm super hyped. So this pudge is
10
actually being picked up like
seconds
more and more in every other region. I think the most notable one people were looking at recently
5
was
seconds
Matimba Man playing it. His build was like he rushed a Vanguard into Brown Boots into an Axe, and he had it by around 16 minutes, and then went back for stuff like Phase Boots. I know others have gone the Hood instead of the Vanguard,
Vanguard.
sorry, depending on like the game, but I don't think that's preferred. Either way, Axe Rush was prevalent amongst all core pudges, so this seems to be the build. Very exciting. The hero has insane stats now. His damage is very high. He's
Yeah.
very good at contesting the lane.
Mm-hmm.
This is not the sit in the trees pudge that you once saw.
Yeah, now the question is where's the damage coming from? You can see why Timber gets banned. They have 3 strength cores here. Winter
one?
Wyvern. Is that a mid?
Please be
Moon
cool.
does.
Please be
Moon
cool.
plays mid. Yes.
Yes. Oh.
I think Moon has actually played mid Wyvern more than like any other mid player out there. Even though he wasn't
Even
the
Nine?
first one. Yes, he's played it more than Nine. He wasn't the first one to do it. Nine was the first, but Moon just like spammed it even in pro games.
the last time he played it in a pro game, he got dumpstered really hard. I
I
remember.
remember. True.
Let's see if John and Aries can add anything extra to this conversation. John, do you have anything?
I like the carry pudge. I think the idea is great. We saw DB do it, at least in Div 2 last time around. I think Ares was there to watch that one. It can be potent. Last hitting is good, but it's another weird one. I know which way to lean by draft. I guess SMG, their team fight feels good, and their push is pretty nice here.
Man, this is another wild draft. We've got a lot to speak about as well. I think in regards to the position 1 pudge in particular, though, just there's a lot of percent damage that it has to be worried about. You were already going to the Midnight Pulse, Spirit Siphon as well from the Death Prophet, and now we get the Moon Winter Wyvern as well. So they're going to have really good answers to the pudge overall. I'm a bit concerned at how Moon's going to lane, though, into the damage on the Dragonite. He's going to struggle with last hitting. We'll really rely on the Splinter Blast, but we'll see how he's able to shape up. He's very comfortable in this hero.
We definitely will. Are you guys more in favor of the Moon Wyvern or the Natsumi Pudge? Pick one.
I'll go with Moon Wyvern, especially if there's a Spirit Vessel involved.
You gonna go same?
I'm going the same. I think SMG have a good draft here.
Perfect. Cast a curse on SMG. So game 2 is
See you for game 3.
yeah. We'll see you guys around for game 3. But now we're jumping into game number 2.
Thank you very much, Nat. John, this is the at least third time now. Like you said, DB played the Pudge position 1. They were able to take that game. I also saw a 71-minute game of a carry Pudge that was Liquid versus Goon Squad, make it 74 minutes, in fact. Matumbaman, unfortunately, wasn't able to take that game victory. I was just seeing who he was laning with, and it was an Enchantress. So I was just we were speaking a little bit on the draft. Let's hold that thought. Hang on, Polaris. Charging up the high ground. So, this Pudge is a nutty laner. You have a ridiculous amount of damage. Who needs a Quelling Blade when you got 79 damage? Of course, kind of helping out. He's got a couple of branches, a couple of gauntlets. But this is going to be interesting. I think how they play this lane is just like Lion tries to wrap around, gets an Earth Spike, Natsumi gets on top of the rock. All of us... Oh, okay. He's 1 for 1 so far to start the game, along with Xavier. They're going to try and give the kill over to Lelouch. They will be successful. I'm pretty sure that was a blind hook. I don't see no wards. I don't think anyone was granted them the vision there. So Natsumi 1 for 1. John, you got to be on hook counter here this game, mate. All right.
Yep. 1 so far. Still, the fight's not over. Still keeping chase.
Hang on a sec. They're going to get a second kill. They're going to get a second kill. Mid one stepping too far over. Oh, are we repeating game 1? I know they didn't get kills kind of at the horn on Polaris, but they were off to a flying start. I'm just double checking. This is second game, right?
This is game number 3, Ares, and it's a strong start for Polaris already. Keen to see how much Nazi we can actually get out from his lane now. Of course, we are taking a peek down bot. Nevermind's on his signature Mars. He performs really well in this hero. And laying up against mid 1 might be a bit more manageable. You've always got the spear back down line. You can always clear out the creep wave with a God's Rebuke. You've got a good spear arrow combination down the line as well. And you can always kind of answer back if Pilot Die will go for Enchant. They do block the large camp, so they don't need to necessarily expand the arrow onto the creep. Pilot is going to have to put some work in there. Of course, the early presence of Pi is kind of annoying. He's got the Blightstone. He's got the heal coming through as well with Nature's Attendance. That is something they work with. The other lanes are looking a bit tough. You mentioned that mid lane for Moon being a bit of an issue. He is dropping quite low to Lelouch in that 1v1, and Lelouch doesn't even need to go for Dragon Blood. He knows he can be offensive with just Dragon Tail, Breed Fire, and run Moon down if he can.
So we were speaking in the draft about how this top lane was going to shape up potentially with like the Eidolons or bottom lane. Pi?
Oh, Pi?
Oh, it doesn't get the spear connection. Okay, so we were speaking up top about how like maybe SMG could play this lane with just having the Eidolons be able to tank the hook. So far, what they've been doing is TMV gets the Earth Spike and Natsumi has a free way to set up. Now that they've got the Eidolons to play with, though, you see TMV and Natsumi, they just solo focus them down, get some easy gold and easy experience. So Natsumi's 3 for 3 with hooks so far. He's got 2 after the start to the lane, so already a very good start for the carry Pudge.
Yeah, already building up. Last hits are also up there on the board. Going to be rushing into that Hood of Defiance, mitigating a lot of that damage output coming through from the side of SMG. And as TMG is doing a great job of just cutting forward, preventing any sort of move out from raging to control the lane. Oh,
He might be in trouble here with the level 2s that Polaris are able to play with, but Rage Potato, he has his own level 2 as well to work with, so with the Spirit Siphon. Of course, this is going to be an exceptional ability in the lane versus the Pudge, but you see Potato, he's left to his own devices.
Yeah, I think right now Afu just wants to farm up, play with the Eidolons, jungle a bit, get some gold going for himself and some solo XP. That does leave Raging Potato a bit vulnerable to that line combination, but you are out of mana now on TMV. You have barely enough mana on Natsumi for a hook. No mana drain yet on TMV, so can't really top of nice hook though.
Oh man, Natsumi is on point to start this game. 5 for 5, my guy. Natsumi has now got enough gold to be able to pick up the ring health. I quickly staying top. I do think this is how SMG need to play. With Afu like farming the jungle, you're really wanting to pull TMV away from the lane. And Death Prophet, I think, can solo the Pudge again with a Spirit Siphon. But if TMV is back in the lane, we do see how difficult it is kind of for Raging Potato to play that. So I'm very intrigued to see how TMV kind of fluctuates between the lane and between dealing with the Enigma.
Yeah, it's going to be important for him to get his positioning right to ensure that they can kind of run down Natsumi while also preventing Afu from getting his farm up and getting his EXP up. He's starting to lag behind again on the Enigma, kind of reminiscent of game 1, where he's not quite getting the levels he needs. He's contested in his jungle, being punished by the supports, but down the line, as long as you hit those timings on Afu, it feels like it doesn't matter. As long as he finds that blink and starts to get the committal for his team, he still has that impact. So we'll see whether or not this is enough coming out from TMV, and whether or not they've slowed the Enigma down enough, as Afu still has pretty free reign over the jungle, and Lion can't really stop that with the Eidolon spam. Doesn't have the best wave clear. Taking a look at that mid again, Lelouch is starting to pull massively ahead in comparison to Moon. Moon doesn't have anything to sustain his mana. Once he's out of mana, Splinter Blast is not to be flying out. He can't really threaten Lelouch. And the farm game does go on for the DK. So still a safe lane for Lelouch here, getting some good EXP. And that should set up for his own blink time. We talked about that connection here for Polaris to get their own jumps in. Blink's going to be very important for them on the line in the DK, and at the very least, you should have some decent timings here for Lelouch on that DK.
I have a couple of supports converging into the river. Afu trying to secure one of the water runes, but with TMV showing up and also the Mirana, they're going to be in trouble. Oh, nice micro from Afu. Eats the arrow, so Moon should be able to step out of harm's way. Xavier's going to try and get in front of the Wyvern to offer the body blocks, and the Hex also comes out, and mid one, another early rotation reminiscent of game 1. Looking to get active on the Ember, feeling like he's required to TP mid to offer his assistance, and they do get a rebuttal, but it's a Wyvern down for the line. Keep in mind that's your position 2 for your 5.
That's a big take for the side of Polaris, also forcing out mid one to show up mid. Means that, he's not just farming down bot. They are still trying to be aggressive on Lelouch, though.
Lelouch, he might be in a bit of trouble here. This Arctic Burn still has quite an amount of duration left to play with, and mid one's actually going to think about diving the tower. Dragon Tail still on cooldown. Lelouch has a fairy fire mid one. He's bitten off way more than he can shoot. Oh no. Okay, John, this is not good, because one thing I wanted to bring up was the fact that I was looking at the last hits prior, and it was like 23 last hits in favor of mid one compared to like the 7 of Nevermind. Hold that thought top lane as well. They're going to dive the T1 tower. There's nothing Afu can do to protect his offlaner, as they're going to TP up an extra hero to try and body Natsumi, but he gets into the tree line, and the Pudge is going to be okay. Are they going to think about turning back around? No, the Eidolon is potentially blocking up the hook. Wait, mid lane? Hang on, Moon! Oh, John, I'm telling you what's going on. Are we watching the same game?
Yeah, it's definitely a game 2 here. The aggression's kicking off from Polaris again in that early game phase. SMG not quite finding grip on their lanes, sacrificing a lot of the course. Mid one shows up mid once more just to prevent that push out from Lelouch. Does dodge out the Dragon Tail at the least, not giving the opportunity for Zavis to go for that arrow connection, but giving away that free lane onto Nevermind. His Mars is outstanding, although
yeah, Lelouch. Okay, this time they should be able to get the Dragonite kill, especially with Afu wrapping from the top. So that's a bit of a streak, and most importantly, a lot of experience, considering they've just been fumbling back and forth between some of the cores on SMG. So you also waste the Elder Dragon form, so in fact, no damage dealt into the tier 1 tower.
Yeah, it's still fairly safe. That's a 4-man rotation at 6.5 minutes, though. The side lanes are very free for Polaris right now. Free to just farm up on the Pudge, and especially on Nevermind on his Mars. His own blink timing's not to be too far off, and they're still posturing around here, although they see Xavius with that Invis.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Rotation reply,
Dire's
bring the
middle
Centaur
tower
Conqueror.
is under attack.
They get the arrow. Xavier somehow finds an angle to land the arrow, but mid one just completing the level 6, so Nevermind's gonna try and TP in just a bit too late on the spear though. Nice attempt from Nevermind.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, it's a full fiesta now. That's almost everyone down mid from both sides. 4 versus 4 on the mid lane. Only Natsumi and Raging left alone up
Radiant's
top.
bottom tower
And
is
both
under
sides understanding the importance of that mid tier 1 and the importance of that momentum from mid. Moon and Lush want that early build-up, want to be able to start running around with their heroes. It's still looking a
Dire's
little
middle
bit better
tower
here for
is under
Lelouch.
attack.
Number 1 in net worth, and still not yet at that blink. But is starting to build in. They do get a bit of a chase going onto Xavius, can't fully commit onto him. And from these movements, it feels like it hurts mid one the most. He's leaving his safe lane, he's not finding farm. Up top, they are being
Natsumi.
aggressive here.
Yeah, Exo committed. Natsumi's got the ultimate, but instantly cancelled from Arfu. Great positioning on the Enigma. And now with the percent damage, you see Natsumi, he's going to be run down. So a big kill for Raging Potato to pick up. They've got the catapult timing still as well from SMG, so this tower's going to take a beating. Even Moon, they've got to be cautious there and group up. Moon with the threat of the Winter's Curse. Polaris do an incredible job to Delta split, but Xavius has got some leap charges to be able to play with, so we'll escape away from SMG, but you now have to give away this tier 1 tower.
And we talked about this a little bit a while ago, Aries, behind the scenes, but the push of SMG early on, you mentioned the first 12 minutes, it is really strong, and they do manage to leverage that well. And should clear out the top tier 1, open more space to contest some farm. Polaris, though, not backing off, still looking for a play here.
See if Natsumi, how it can enter the fight. Nice position from TV. He's going to look to wrap all the way around. They don't have enough mana for the Malefice as well, and, well, regardless, it looks like Arfu is just going to ditch the Death Prophet. So Natsumi hits the board for another time, continuing to stack up the Flesh Heap charges as Xavius and Arfu have a bit of a duel at the moment between both the position 4s. Xavius going to be able to provide the vision for Polaris, and they'll chase down a second kill. Natsumi's going to be loving life now, continuing to get the Flesh Heap stacks.
Oh.
Ooh,
Yep.
Xavius! No! Kill the Eidolons team!
Yeah, they couldn't clear it out in time. It looked a bit fuzzy, though. Afu was blocked in by zone. Eidolons kind of juke around, and Natsumi does get another stack up. 5 stacks of Flesh Heap. Lots of kills on board for Natsumi, 4-1-1.
Bottom lane,
Never
never
also
mind.
doing that for it.
Arena drop is going to be able to stun the Death Prophet, but it looks like it will not matter. He's actually going to try and TP out. Never mind!
What?
He just made it, and they also get mid one! Oh, what a read from Nevermind. Arena drop keeps his body alive, and now Lelouch, they might be able to turn it back around on the Dragon Knight, though, but Raging Potato is out of Spirit Siphon charges. Oh, Polaris! Meanwhile, mid lane as well, they're onto the Winter Wyvern. So Moon's gonna go down again. Natsumi and TMV are doing an exceptional job combining together through the first 10 minutes of this game.
And it's just hooking up. It's as you said, just Earth Spike to set up, hook to follow through, and just block them away, prevent anything from slipping by from Natsumi's hook, and just find those nice easy pickoffs. Already level 8 in the Pudge. The mid push has been going out consistently here for SMG. Mid tower from Polaris already down to 214 HP. Just a little bit more commitment, and SMG opens the map a ton more. Still, Pi.
Moon's in the neighborhood. Don't group up, friends. Curse is available. Exo committed as well, but they are just melting through Nevermind's health pool. Again, there is a lot of percent damage that SMG are working with in this game.
Dan just rips through those strength
Radiant
heroes
structures are
really fast, and now Raging just TPs onto the mid. They find that tier 1, no deny coming through here.
Do it, Natsumi.
Natsumi,
Do it.
they're still hanging around.
Creeps, they're gonna get out the way. Move, Creeps. Natsumi wants a hook. In fact, he can just enter in, but again, the Malefice. But it will not matter. TMV, level 6 in the arsenal, zaps away the life of Raging Potato.
Big kill coming out. They sacrifice their mid-tier 1. So the map control is opening up for SMG, but they find the punishment onto that DP. The bot is still being shoved in as well with Moon. Pi.
The action does not stop, my friends. Enchantress. Well, Pi's pretty tanky, it looks like, without the arrow to be able to chain control down the Enchantress, and she's gonna take the tier 1. Meanwhile, mid lane, Black Hole's dropped. Uh-oh, Lelouch stepping a little bit too far. Arfu a mid one. The concoction use of the Black Hole, and Arfu even chucks out a a bit of a friendly tip, so to say, over to the Dragon Knight.
Yeah, they get the punishment they need onto that DK. And they found all the tier 1 towers here from SMG. So that strong push you mentioned, Aries, before the 12-minute mark, it's fully realized. As we hit the 12-minute mark, every single tier 1 tower gone from Polaris' end. For Polaris' part, it does feel like, you know, towards the mid and late game, their lineup starts to scale back a bit. Especially if you hit some early BKB timings on SMG down the line. It doesn't feel like you have any easy way of handling that outside of Dismember from Natsumi. And that's putting your Pudge on the front line. That's putting your Pos one all the way forward. So SMG doing a great job holding this game together despite dropping some fights. They're playing the objectives here really well. They're keeping themselves up in that fort. Sure, Natsumi's taking the lead by a massive amount, but Midwind's not too far off. He's got the Maelstrom up, getting that farm going. I think the pain point right now for SMG is that build-up on Moon. The Winter Wyvern has been held back from a long time, not even having that Witchblade up just yet. But slowly but surely, if you do give that teamfight opportunity, Black Hole, Winter's Curse, it's pretty scary in the middle of Fall of It, and for Polaris, it only really feels like they've got single target control chain stuns with a Dragon Tail Arrow, and only really the arena for a wide AoE here.
I do think when Moon does find his items, I think he 100% wins the game for SMG. It's just a question if he gets those items. Like, it is such a incredible Arctic Burn game. And keep in mind, they buff this ability as well before you even get the Ags. Like, the 8 seconds to 10 seconds is a really big buff. Bottom lane, Moon has TMV wrapped in. They're going to miss on the spear and the Earth Spike, so the execution from Polaris is very much off the mark, but never mind. A good read from him. He's going to be able to TP out, recognizing their stuns are lacking.
Yep, just a bit slow on that TP there. If Afu managed to TP in first, they might have been able to get off a Malefice stun. Don't manage to get that done. We'll take the Lion kill and drag the lead back their way just ever so slightly. Still a very even game despite the kill disparity. And just going back to your point there, Aries, yeah, like the moment Moon gets room to build up, the moment he gets to catch up, start to overtake, never mind, maybe match Lelouch's farm pace, the Winter Wyvern's a massive threat. Witchblade already flying out, damage output from the Arctic Burn's huge, and a smoke out from SMG with a blink on Afu here.
Double damage.
A bit hesitant from SMG. Not quite sure where they want to lead with this smoke, and Jimmy with the Moonlight on the higher ground is going to run into Pi. But the rest of SMG a little bit too late to connect with the Enchantress. They're going to get a glimpse of him, though, with the sentry drop. Natsumi, he's going to be pretty in trouble here with the magic damage coming out as well, but they're going to look to turn it around, though, with the help of Lelouch jumping in, offering the stun control, but still, they've got a Spirit Vessel out already. So Natsumi's going to be brought down. Now they can chain this into Lelouch's health as well. Up to the T3 tower. SMG, they don't give a damn about objectives. The onslaught does not stop for no one, as now even Xavius, the potential to chase him down in the tree line, but they are just showing that with all this percent damage, these tanky heroes really don't feel like their health pool is going to be enough to keep them alive in these fights.
It's really not. You need some early BKBs up and running on Polaris as well. As they keep going. They tried to jump onto Xavius. They don't manage to latch onto him, but now they're open to kind of threaten for that tier 2 top, take the outpost, maybe start to think about Roshan, although they don't take it the quickest, especially without that Exo on Raging. The top tier 2 is still a very tasty objective. TMV is hanging around the area. No blink on the line yet. Still trying to save up. You always have the threat to hook from the fog here.
They get the first stun into the vault. The Moon has the curse to be able to counter-initiate, but it comes out too late. The burst once again from the Lion. Now Lelouch is also able to jump a second target in Raging Potato. Radiant, they're kind of in the neighborhood to be able to protect the Death Prophet if required. Pylai die, showing his positioning. Blink's going to be up in a couple of seconds from Lelouch. They are stalking Pi's Enchantress for the moment. They're going to be cautious though, because Enigma's starting to TP up top. The threat of the Black Hole, they cannot group up on Polaris. She'll lose the Dragonite. Nevermind's going to run straight into the Enigma as well. Xavier's going to jump into the middle, trying to blow up Moon, but the damage is lacking. And then Afu jumps into the lane. Midnight Pulse, Black Hole, and the help of Raging Potato makes it another easy kill as Raging Potato. He struggled in the lane, but he somehow has a mega killing streak on the Death Prophet, 7, 5, and 1.
You just hit critical mass on that DP Ares. You know, you have so much sustain with the Spirit Siphon. The damage output, as you pointed out, percent base just massive against these heroes. And that's even without a BKB.
One. They get the first stun. That's the all-important stun because they can chain it into the second and the third. That's a great use of the Moonlight Shadow from Xavius, giving them an opportunity to enter the lane undetected.
Yeah, but look at this. SMG still focusing in on the top, using that space well. Pi might pay for it, though.
Looks like he will definitely pay for it. He's so tanky, though. Max out Nature's Attendance, even with 1 point in the ultimate. Like, what is that, man? This hero's dumb. Just watching them struggle to kill an Enchantress with Brown Boots, Blightstone, Fluffy Hat, and Wand is so stupid.
It's what Enchantress does best. You know, put her body forward, stall out the fight, buy space for the team to get a good retreat off, or to clump up on top of it, and just minimize your losses. They still lose mid one. Polaris are still very happy with that kill. You're still number one here on Natsumi. With the Ags already up, the rot damage is just massive. The healing reduction is also very useful, especially against something like DP in the middle of these fights. And Natsumi's inching closer towards that Eternal Shroud. Bursting down the Pudge is going to be a lot tougher. They're going to need that physical output on mid one. And mid one has to be careful playing so far forward.
Oh, man, mid... Okay. Dude, they're giving me a heart attack. They are so close from just being picked off. But you do see this is kind of the playstyle that SMG kind of attempting. You Boots of Travel on the Ember. You've got Boots of Travel starting to be completed from Moon. And we were speaking about, like, Radiant, they want to be able to stall this game out for the Winter Wyvern.
Yep, they're getting that done really nicely. Moon's bouncing back in network. It's still behind the Lush, but ahead of Nevermind. So he's not bottom network core anymore. Polaris are going for a smoke play, so is SMG on 2 heroes. We'll see if either side finds what they want. Afu in the firing line here, if he's not careful.
Good positioning, though. Ready, they're connecting to top. Afu's gonna jump. Lelouch is gonna be able to counter-initiate. Easy kill for them, but they still gotta be cautious. So second point in the ultimate for Ragey Potato. Nevermind's gonna jump into the middle as well. They might be able to blow up the Death Breath with the Winter's Curse, buying a little bit of time, but it will not matter. The AoE damage, getting rid of Ragey Potato, and now they can turn their attention to easier targets. Is in the river. They're onto Moon. A Dragon Tail into Nevermind's follow-up. Such a valuable target to get rid of in that skirmish as Polaris. What a fight from them. A 4-for-1 from that skirmish.
And they get a good angle in. They had a high ground advantage to jump on top of SMG on the low ground. And SMG didn't have their full team to bear. Mid one's just busy farming up, shoving out waves, doing what he is supposed to do on the pause one, just build up that farm. And the rest of the team just couldn't get the fight going their way. That was a decent enough Winter's Curse, but it was onto the Pudge. Tanky is here in the lineup. I feel like if you're SMG, you do more damage onto the Pudge than the rest of his team can possibly do to him at this point. And they're not able to burn through as much this time around. No threat of Black Hole, but still down on Afu. And they just managed to collapse on time on the side of Polaris. Still, SMG, Black Hole is back up, so they can try to play around that if they want to.
Good top lane. Rage and Potato both Nevermind waiting the trees for quite some time. Nevermind. Oh. He's going to jump the Enigma instead. He sees a free kill. But Afu's got some stick charges to play with. Nevermind still is able to secure the kill, but of course, it will come at a grave cost in his own life.
Yeah. Giving that kill to Moon is actually a lot bigger. Moon also has the Grove Bow flying out for him.
Of course.
Magic Amp on top with his Arctic Burn and Witchblade combination. The Ags being slowly but surely farmed up. And it goes back to what you said, Aries. Once this core Winter Wyvern finds the itemization, it doesn't feel like Polaris can deal with it all too well unless they repeat what they did in the last fight. Isolate everyone else, leave the Winter Wyvern as a sitting duck, burn her down after the rest of the team is gone, after the rest of her control is gone, and just go from there.
Oh, Natsumi move on. Mid one was duking back and forth. Natsumi still was like, yeah, why not? Chuck out the hook, see if I can get him. Unfortunately, not the case. He got the catapult though, pretty easy. And he's gone for what? BKB. Oh, hang on a second, Natsumi, don't do it. This wave, mid one. He's got some heroes behind him. He's got Moon. He's got. Oh, okay. Bit awkward use of the ultimates. As Arthur's, he's ticking out to the rot damage, and then only tickling Natsumi. Oh, it's a disaster. He's almost got the hook. Mid one should be able to TV out. That went as bad as I think it could have possibly gone for SMG?
That was. There's no sugarcoating that one, Aries. That was pretty bad. Maybe lines of communication weren't quite as clear, and both players felt like they needed to commit their ults for the control. Ends up in Natsumi's favor. You're seeing the effect of that Eternal Shroud blocking a lot of damage, and Pi is not safe here either.
So indeed, gotta make sure they keep him inside the fireball, and they will do just that. So, alright, Polaris, 1,000 net worth lead. We're continuing to mention a lot that if Moon finds his items, we're feeling pretty confident in SMG. And I suppose not only just that, but late game, their BKB answer to Black Hole is, I'm gonna say minimal. I don't believe Pudge should ever be able to get in range for Dismember, and you're not gonna go like Octarine or something like that. But honestly, we'll see. You could go some crazy late game item if you feel that's required, but what do Polaris do? Because I don't believe they can go late game. So what are the plays in the playbook now for them to kind of close this game out relatively early?
They need to be able to try to clump up for objectives. They're taking these skirmishes and aren't able to line up on, buildings at all. Towers are still fairly healthy on SMG. Their tier 2s are still fine. You could argue the same for Polaris. Their own tier 2s are safe against this push lineup of SMG. I don't think it matters as much, because SMG have an easier way to melt through those objectives. Smoke out from SMG, probably looking for that kill into the tower play here at top.
Bottom lane as well, they're keep our eyes on top for the moment. Hook in Natsumi. If they can get the finger of death before TMV dies, it's going to be important to blow up the Death Prophet, and they do just that. Now they can turn to Pylite Die next as well. Lelouch flying over the tree line to land the Dragon Tail stun, and all they needed was just that to lock him inside the damage over time. Now, meanwhile, bottom lane, they are going to continue to chase Xavius down. Mid one's able to secure that thanks to the Maelstrom proc, so they get a 2 for 2, but of course it is, the core Death Prophet going down in exchange for it.
Yeah, just 2 supports, and the side of Polaris can be pretty happy. They defend their tier 2 top. No threat of a push coming out from SMG for the moment. We do get into that BKB now for Nevermind as well, so safer to initiate on the Mars. And trying to reach for Afu. Is he going to try again?
Oh, he's scared.
Afu's kind of stuck.
Let's see if he gets it. He's going to try and line it up.
Come on.
There
you go.
Oh,
no,
it looked good.
Oh, he went south.
It looked good for me. Oh, I lost it in the trees.
He was a bit too left, right beside Afu, not quite enough. Afu's still stuck there. Moonlight out from Polaris up top here.
Look at mid one, yeah. He's got a link in Zoe Polaris. They're going to be pretty cute with their initiation. They're running under the sentry by the secret shop. This is not good at all, but Lelouch, just the perfect timing. The BKB getting delivered as Afu tries to jump in, but he doesn't have the black hole, but it looks like it will not matter as the BKB is soon to expire. They can wait out that duration and then charge him down afterwards as mid one. He's looking to add an extra kill to the tally without the leap charges for Xavius. The Mirana will not escape, and now they can chain this into Roshan too.
Yep, pop the Exo, not too much time left in that, but Roche should still be cleared out here for the side of SMG, and no counterfight coming through from Polaris. Natsumi very far from the fight. You could maybe try for a ballsy play from Nevermind, probably not going to be successful, so just opts to back off. And with a Roshan under SMG's belt, this should definitely open up a push onto an objective. Start to clear out, pressure onto the higher ground if you want to. Probably just going to be looking for at least 2 tier 2 towers here. And you have a secondary life on mid one. So your Ember is much more safe to go for those grandiose plays that mid one loves to do. And you're still stalling out very nicely for Moon. 1 part away from the full Ags here, Ares. That % burn damage is always going to be there now.
Uh-oh. It's not looking good for Polaris.
It just feels like they're stalling out, right? Like, you've got the Pudge core, you kind of want to take it really quick, pressure, keep finding those pickoffs, but they've opted to just play farm game. To be fair, Natsumi's farming like a madman, still #1 in net worth. But you need to start seeing even bigger pickoffs outside of raging. Like, you definitely need to start punishing Moon. And mid one once more, just with all the defensive items up in mid one, it just feels a lot tougher. You're going to have to commit a lot of spells onto one hero here.
I just struggle to see how they're going to get Moon though in these fights. Because it feels like for SMG, with the heroes they have, and especially also how they've itemized, they're just going to be running into the middle like absolute maniacs. Mid one with this Lincolns, he's going BKB next. He knows his role, get in the fight, and mainly get on the line and just get rid of that hero so you can't blow up the Death Prophet. And Raging Potato is going to do the same thing. DP went BKB. I think also, did he just complete an item? Yeah, he got Blink Dagger as well. So there you go. That just furthers my point. It's just, they want to get in the middle, create chaos, and just allow Moon to freely right-click from afar.
Yeah, just enable that Winter Wyvern to really leverage that Ags for the side of Polaris. And they can still rip through them one by one, but they need to find some bigger heroes here. They see they might be able to get Pi, but even he's managing to able to run away from that Moonlight Shadow. And SMG still manages to get the stall game. It's a lot of free farm from mid one down bot. They can't catch the Ember. BKB is almost done. And the stall game from SMG is shaping up well. They don't have much of a lead though. Less than 1k. Polaris are still definitely in the game. But as we approach that 30-minute mark, Aries, it becomes a lot tougher of a game. Dealing with Black Hole, no direct BKB cancels, although Afu's very far away from full BKB. He is picking it up first before the raid pack, so it's already fully done. Alright, so no BKB Pierce anymore outside of Natsumi somehow getting this number. I really don't see that, but you know, maybe, probably not. If he had the shard, perhaps, you know, that could be a little bit better. But probably, yeah, tough. And SMG, they just need to find the angle now. Their team fight's a heck lot better. As long as they don't get pinned down first by Nevermind. A big key now for Polaris is the Blink Hex and the Blink Arena. If either the Lion or the Mars finds a good target to jump on, that's where the team fight can swing away from SMG if they're not careful.
In the Loosh. Gotta be caught. There was one right click, man! Two now. Half his health is gone. He might have to pop a BKB, but look at the target. They're going to jump in straight towards the Winter Wyvern. That is a prime hero to get rid of at the start of the fight, but they don't have a Black Hole answer as Afu gets the ultimate onto two. But Natsumi, he's still charging the backline. So able to deal with the Enigma to the right side as well. They've killed off the first lap, but they're sounding their retreat. There's Polaris. They've recognized they cannot stick around for the second round, as mid one will respawn as Raging Potato charges him. But hang on a second, Natsumi with a help, and Nevermind, they feel like they've got the damage to be able to blow up the Death Prophet, and they do indeed. Beautiful read from Polaris, getting rid of the position 3 in Raging Potato. Now they got the hook as well to cancel Pylite. Dies TP. So Polaris say, screw your H's advantage, screw your Winter Wyvern timing. We can still take these team fights.
And they certainly can. You're getting extra tanky now on Natsumi. He's just not melting to the output of SMG, especially when the Winter Wyvern's down. A bit of an overextension out from Raging. He did have the EXO running for a little bit longer. Could have gone for the safe play and chip away at the tier 2. Get punished for it as Polaris reel this game back towards their way. Less than 1k lead on top of them. At this point, it starts to feel a bit scary. Sure, the percent scaling damage is there, but Moon is still pretty damn poor. Still bottom network core, despite having that Ags working towards the Silver Edge. Next, have a little bit of a break mechanic going on here, especially against the DK. But it feels like he needs a lot more room. Mid one's been doing a good job of keeping himself up there tied into the Podge. It's not like he has the lead either. So, looking to play tag here.
Shadows take us.
Big one. They've got TV standing nearby. And they're gonna have to chain control. Natsumi's gonna be able to follow up as well. Oh, Team V! That is beautiful! Mana Drain into the instant hex, popping the Lincolns, and they blow up mid one bot. Everyone on Polaris feel like they need to show up, minus the Lush, who's trying to battle against SMG in the river. Has the BKB to protect him for the moment. Polaris, they are swinging to this location.
It's a very optimistic play out from mid one onto the bot, trying to go for the solo pickoff. Gets punished for it. Never managed to pop his BKB. Counter smoke here from SMG though. They know the push is happening bot.
Oh, perfect position from Xavius. Pops the smoke, and now Raging Potato's gonna charge in the middle. So miss the Earth Spike. Natsumi, look at the Arena! Oh, never mind! Arena onto 2. They get rid of Enigma, so there's gonna be no threat of her abilities, but they haven't dealt with Moon though. This Arctic burn damage really starting to rack up. You've got to respect the Winter Wyvern for the moment, Polaris. Do you retreat or do you continue the fight? It's Natsumi charging on 4 for the Death Prophet. The arrow lands before they kill off Xavius, and now never mind. It just needs to find an angle for the speed. Moon, he's in trouble though, TV. Jumps the high ground. They get the speed. They get the burst as well. It's Polaris again. Deal with the 1-to-Ivan. And now they can turn to deal with Pylite Dynexus. Natsumi. They don't have it. It seems like they don't have an answer to him. This Arctic Burn is doing so much damage, but Polaris are continuing to put emphasis on getting on top of the Winter Wyvern and making sure that Moon just never has a free fight. And this is going to secure a back-to-back team fight victory. I don't know how he's still alive. Afu?
Oh.
Hang on a second. What's going on? They're going to be able to turn this around. Black Hole in the arsenal, along with the Midnight Pulses. Natsumi, he's not dead just yet, dismembered. With all the health coming back, he gets the Enigma. What? They haven't even killed this madman. Finally. They'll get rid of Podge. They're going to try and turn to Nevermind next. These fights, I've never seen crazier fights than this series.
I mean, it's SMG, right? They love to keep forcing fights. Nevermind. Oh, they spot.
He ran out of the forest. He ran out of the tree line. He thought he was fine. He thought no one was home. He's gonna try and pop BKB. Is there any remnants to catch? They get the slide to stop the blink. And mid one with the right clicks and slide back up surely. Even Moon's gonna connect as well, just in case. Moon? One more leap charge in a couple of seconds. Look at the damage on Xavius. I think he's okay. But what is his attack range? He's not okay. Sly gets the kill. It's going to be DK against the world, but they can kill Lelouch easily. Again, the percent damage coming through from the Arctic Burn will force a BKB out from Lelouch. They've got the curse though from Moon. If they can get in range for it, Lelouch slowed down again.
Oh my
they
god.
might not even need the curse. A buyback even coming up from Natsumi. Tries to pop the linkage, but won't be able to do so. Now, hang on. You got to be cautious. You did just buy back, Moon. Flapping his wings away. Playing the distance, and Natsumi will have no hope of catching up.
Oh my god. This is just insanity from both sides. Buyback on Natsumi to prevent the further high ground escapades of SMG. Now, if he dies, that's a big deal.
There's some incredible reactions.
This is this nuts. They get the EXO off on Raging. He still has BKB. Mid one has his BKB. They're going to be ripping through these objectives. Buybacks available for the 2 heroes of Polaris, but he needs to make a play here.
Oh no, even for the Earth Spike instead of the Hex of Rage Potato. No messing around, pops the BKB, gets rid of the Lion. Who he bought back prior as well, so you won't have a Lion for this defense. It's a full set.
SMG hit and run on the high ground, diving tier 3s to get a kill. Forced to buy back early from the Pudge. They don't have any other upper objectives to go for. Tier 2 still stand on Polaris in both lanes, but now they solidify their position. 6k lead on the side of SMG and Polaris. I mean, they're durable right here, Aries, but can they scale in output now? We see it takes so much commitment to try to kill off one of the cores of SMG. They're very well protected with the BKBs, and Lincoln's already up. They just need to be able to turn them on quickly enough. And, I mean, Natsumi's massive on this Pudge. 24 flesh heat, 48 bonus strength, 4k HP. It just doesn't matter. Like, the damage of Moon is just way too high with the Arctic Burn. Even a Spirit Siphon does a lot there, and it all hinges on BKB use for Polaris. If they manage to stand and fight, use their BKB, spell immunity well, it feels great, but your spell immunity is not the safest thing. Black Hole, Winter's Curse are massive threats through that BKB. And it just doesn't matter as long as these heroes from SMG still finds that spell use they need. Roche already up, spotted out here by SMG. Polaris knows that they need to fight around that Roshan as well. Pop the Moonlight a bit early. We don't have the talent up yet for Xavius to have more uptime on that. So there's a window here for SMG to not have to worry about the ganks. And they've got the smoke flying out now from Afu, so they could force the issue here.
Some big items for Radiant to be able to deal with Dire. You got Skadi on mid one, which against the tanky heroes on Dire, it's going to be incredible to be able to stop the effectiveness of the health coming back for the Ember. Oh, sorry, for the Pudge. The DK is 37 HP regen. Even Ashivas is being worked on as well for the Death Prophet. So I'm a gigantic fan of the itemization from both the DP and the Ember.
Yeah, just so many ways to deal with that sustain game. SMG still looking to be on the offensive.
Oh, top lane.
Smoke is still coming up.
Oh my god. They should both be dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're dead. I don't. They don't make it out, right, John? Moon's just going to get cursed. They're both walking forward. Unless, for some reason... Well, never mind, can't even blink. It's on cooldown. So maybe Xavier's can, like, double leap. He's probably going to die after. I reckon they're both dead. That's an awkward pause.
Yeah. Allows Moon to kind of line up. And should be able to see... he doesn't quite see them yet. I'm looking at the Radiant Vision. So, gonna have to walk over the tree line first. Get the curse off. Might
the thing
be
is,
some
he
time
knows
to
he's
react.
there, though. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, he's so aware of the position. He's got a haste as well. So, like, not even half a second, and he's going to see them and drop the curse. Let's see how fast your reactions are. All right. Okay, so you get the Mirana. Nevermind's under a ward as well. So the Mars is going to be a bit cautious of his positioning in the river. Okay, they've run into Arfu. A valuable target for the team fight. No black hole now for 50.
Yeah. Does have buyback at the least, so he's going to be able to work his way back. They forced out something on Roche. They are trying to play tag bot. Mid one, not going to repeat the same mistake. Does just zip away on the Ember. And it's a 1-for-1. A bit of a bigger kill coming out from Polaris. Higher net worth on Afu, so a good trade to take. But a bit unfortunate for SMG. You kind of cursed them, Ares. You said, oh, both of them should be dead. The vision was enough. Moon knew they were there, but didn't react fast enough, and they just back off. At the least, Nevermind does.
What is your opinion on this DK build with the kind of Manta Interceptor? A lot of people have been speaking about Gunner was the first one to do it, and they've kind of been asking for it for like every time they see the Dragonite. But do you like this build?
I think it has uses. I think we saw a little bit of it in the last series with Talon in Game 2. And you don't have to worry about the Grimstroke constantly dark portraiting your illusion, so it's pretty good. It allows you to pressure lanes really well. Just take control, keep the lane shoved out. Gives you a lot of damage as well in the middle. You have some pretty good dispels to deal with here, outside of just popping your BKB. Death Prophet Silence, Malefice is big for the DK to pop off, so I don't mind it too much. I think it's pretty darn good. The stats are always nice. EHP of DK is pretty damn high. They are looking to commit up top, but they do manage to bail out with the Moonlight just fine. But let's see if they re-engage here.
Nice ward sentry. Xavier's again on the front line. Wait, look at Nevermind's position. Hey, on this Mars. Give him so much intelligence for how this fight could potentially break out, but Pylite Dai is not the person you want to jump.
Yeah, they back off, and now it's SMG's turn to smoke. No Moonlight to try and break this. They are holding the high ground here really nicely, though. So the angles for SMG are a bit tougher to find.
Just a measly regen. You don't want to lose this ward. This is really important for the status of this fight. Having vision in the neighborhood. Natsumi, they're tickling down the Pudge. Gonna try and hook forward onto the Enchantress. Gotta make sure you don't group up. And Arthur's in. Black hole onto 2. Winter's Curse fall up as well. But the damage, all they're doing is onto Lelouch for the moment. The Dragonite protected for the BKB, but they're gonna be able to lose Moon without the Winter Wyvern. Still, the damage is coming through thick and fast. It's mid one pummeling into the Mars next. An ultra kill for Raging Potato. As they don't need the Wyvern, it got the curse. That's all they required. As Raging Potato just beelines into the fight.
Yeah, just runs in, knows he's extra durable. A lot of control already expended from Polaris, and no buyback on Moon. That is technically a dieback for him as he bought back way earlier in the game. But Roshan should give a bit of an edge for SMG as they start to think about those side towers coming in here. And mid one doing a lot of work. His damage output's really skyrocketing. He's got the Ags flying out now as well. The defensive buildup has paid off massively. Maybe a bit of a small mistake, stacking Black Hole and Winter's Curse again. That might have gone better if they held onto the Curse a little bit longer. Maybe cursed up the Pudge through his BKB. That was still lasting after the Black Hole. And that could have saved Moon's life perhaps, but it still ends up being a nice win for SMG. And this will allow them to finally start to threaten other lanes. Top tier 2 gone. No buyback as well on Natsumi's. That's also technically a dieback. And this should be a smooth run into the push. The hold of Polaris doesn't feel amazing. No Dragon. Dragon Form's been popped, still a lot of duration left, but no Arena, even with a buyback. Gonna be up in 4 seconds. They've got to find a way to work their magic here. Midwind's just really hard to hold now.
I don't know if they can burst Pi. It is the lowest health pull out of them all. They do a decent amount of damage, honestly, if they drop Finger, but they don't have that 3rd level in it, which is what they might require to get rid of the Enchantress. With Mars up shortly, they might make the attempt. That Shadow Team V can always enter. Afu's back alive as well, but keep in mind, Black Hole's on cooldown. They're going to jump him. Oh, look at the damage. Never mind. Jumps in with the God's Rebuke, but the arena's not really going to hold them back. Raging Potato charging to the west, but inside the base, though, Pylai dying. Never mind, battling it out. Mars going to be protected for the moment, so as the BKB if he feels it necessary. Mid one. Easy going BKB in the backpack. He's still got the Aegis for another 3 minutes 40. You get the line and the range racks.
Yeah. Still have a lot more to work on the map. If they want the Megas, they need the tier 2 down bot. They do manage to stall for the respawn of Moon, so he's back up and running on that Winter Wyvern. Has a double damage in the bottle as well.
Ooh.
So next time they pop in there with that Arctic Burn, it's gonna hurt a massive amount. And he's actually grabbing out a Ninja Gear. So the Agi is going to be really nice to speed up his attack speed as well. The smoke, obviously the big one, allowing him to angle in for a better Winter's Curse and hang back a little bit further in these fights. Polaris, and the game is getting tougher and tougher here. It's past that point where scaling on Polaris is just a lot harder to achieve. Yes, your Pudge is infinitely scaling as a hero. You can always get more Flesh Heap, get free strength, and just kind of stack armor on top at some point to at least deal with the right clicks of, say, mid one. Doesn't really help against the Winter Wyvern all too much, but it does give you options. It's just that their control doesn't feel amazing. It's still all down to Nevermind and TMV. Maybe you could still try to gun for Blink Dragon Tail Arrow. It's a lot tougher with all the protection on SMG's end. And for Polaris, it looks like they're just going to have to try to find a way to hold high ground now.
Natsumi's... They got the ward on the high ground, and with Natsumi's positioning, I'll try and lead him with a hook. Keep in mind mid one still. Aegis to play with, so you can't really target down the Ember to start, but... See, maybe the wraparound's the call from SMG. Never mind. Okay. I was going to say, don't stay out too long, my guy. What's the buyback status looking like? Not a lot of buybacks for everyone. They're going to see Nevermind with that ward, I believe. Jumping from Afu. They require the Black Orb. Look at the damage coming through. Nevermind. BKB is going to get a bunch of health back thanks to the Satanic, so Nevermind's going to be okay. But as soon as the BKB expires, they can chase him down afterwards with the Mars. He's got a buyback to be able to utilize here, but they don't really commit heavily from SMG. Really just the EXO.
Dire's top barracks has fallen.
And just find a free set of racks top. They're going to go for the mid creeps next. They need a Mars in here if they want to force this team fight.
Raging Potato instantly jumping towards the backline. Mid one's going to be able to follow up as well. They break the Lincolns on mid one, but the damage, it's not coming through. All the stuns. Natsumi though, looking to jump in onto Raging Potato, but he has an opportunity to get the Stormcaster off. They're going to try and blow up Raging Potato, but they don't have the damage just yet. The Death Prophet's survivable thanks to the Cold Embrace. Now the Winter's Curse out as well. This is nothing the Pudge can do. Natsumi now eats the Black Hole as Afu finds an angle to jump into the middle. They've got some buybacks in the arsenal. The arrow finally landing onto the Death Prophet as well. Once again, they're trying to solo down Raging Potato with Lelouch jumping to the middle. They might finally be able to bring him down, and they will. It costs so much, though, in Polaris. A dieback on your Dragon Knight. There's Natsumi. Oh, tries to catch up, but the Lincolns gonna be popped thanks to the Dismember, but they will get Pylai die nonetheless. So Polaris, such a heavy commitment to hold their last set of barracks.
And they hold on, they hang in, even the tier 3 still stands. So it does pan out in the end. It does take a lot to kind of achieve that. And SMG is still in a really strong position now. 20k net worth lead, 40 to 42 at 44 minutes. We're starting to fall behind that kill per minute here for SMG, and to kick up the pace sooner rather than later. Moon still working towards that Silver Edge. Feels like he's been stuck in this build-up for quite a while, but he has been, you know, committing his body more for his team here. I would love to see something like the Revenant's Brooch out for Moon. I think that active combined with the Arctic Burn is actually pretty sick down the line, but we'll see. Polaris, I mean, they're not out of it yet, Ares, but I don't know how you hold with two lanes constantly shoving in. Nevermind's itemized really well. Satanic going into an overwhelming blink. He does a ton of damage with a Desolator up. So there's a little bit of scaling coming out in him. A little bit of scaling coming out from Lelouch as well, to kind of compensate for having that Pudge Pos 1 that just kind of tapers off a bit. But it still feels like such a tall order to try to find everyone in the middle of these fights. You saw how long it took for Raging to die.
Moon. Oh, they're gonna see him. Oh, they're gonna see Moon. No, never mind. Misses the spear. Oh, and then mass TPing top. You gotta get out, Polaris. You gotta get out. You just brought back Prior. And it's not like you can BKB TP out as well. Nevermind's just stuck. Succumbing to his own death. The curse to hold him through the BKB. They're gonna try to hook him back. Natsumi is gonna eat him up as well. Nice play from Natsumi. A snatch and grab. Trying to get his offlaner back deep inside the base, but they'll just turn to deal with the Lion instead. A right click from afar, and he will tick out to the damage over time. And Team V does not have a buyback.
Yeah. I didn't know that was a Polaris voice line. It's no. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it, Noi. So, fine TMV. Without that line hex stun, it just feels like a lot of their stable control disappears on Polaris, and you can see SMG feeling good. Not going for the full commitment yet. Now, respecting that high ground hold from Polaris, as they've shown us before. They can make stuff happen still. They're not out of it yet. They are hyper durable, although Nevermind losing his overwhelming blink is pretty massive. Not going to have that additional control on the blink in. But just see how tanky they are. 4.8k HP on the on. Nevermind.
They've got no buybacks on Polaris, so this has to be the cleanest fight from them. If they're going to stall this game out. Okay. Looking to potential Lincoln's pop in mid one. Quick on the fingers. How do you enter, man? How do you actually enter this fight? Mid one. He's going to see Xavier's position in the tree line. But a sub, giving Xavier some breathing room. T3 tower down. Last set of barracks is exposed. They're going to jump Lelouch into the hook. But the Conic Brace once again, and after seeing with the black hole, they don't have a counter. Look at Pudge just melting to the damage. No buyback on Natsumi. They're going to charge to the backline onto the Dragon Knight. Lelouch is only momentarily protected thanks to the BKB, and that's instantly where the curse can come into play to stop the Dragon Knight in his tracks. He will not be able to enter the high ground. He's got a buyback to reach open. Arthur's black in. Another ultimate as SMG. What a game two. They're going to be able to take this series in 2-0 fashion and finding their first series victory of 2 of 3.
And now that's a lot cleaner coming out from SMG. Polaris, they had some great ideas. You know, they go back to the Pudge Pause 1. They tried to play quick with it. They had some good combinations with the Lion coming through. Earth Spike into the hooks in lane were pretty big. Natsumi got off to a rolling start, finding the first blood, finding the setup. And it felt a lot slower for SMG. Moon, mid one had a slower build-up. We saw mid one get caught off guard, going for the side lanes quite a fair bit. Doesn't matter. They stall out long enough. They build up to that point where you've got a Winter Wyvern core up against strength heroes. Scaling damage is always good against that. Raging Potato is doing a fantastic job in just standing in the front line as well. For a team, even Pyle died throwing his body forward, stalling out a lot of these engagements from Polaris, giving SMG the opportunity to retreat or regroup on top of that. Just gave so much. And I think for Polaris, they just missed out maybe on a bit of an early timing. It did feel like it would have been hard to find that timing. Like the Pudge can overwhelm you early on, but their tower take, it really hinged more on the Lelouch, and they just couldn't group up around that dragon form, take a team fight, go into the objectives as well as SMG did early on. And I think for SMG, I mean, they almost got a kill per minute there, not quite, but almost, and they're starting to hit those marks Moon wants to hit.
There's just so much to talk about. We had 73 kills in game 1. We had 87 in game 2. What a goddamn crazy series. SMG versus Polaris, and that is all the battle you want. Southeast Asian action, truly at as fun as with the amount of kills that we had. The last pick, Winter Wyvern, a staple for Moon. He struggled, but again, we were mentioning a lot. Late game, Wyvern is going to feel ever so comfortable with that damage. We got to see a Pudge one as well, which was exciting. Definitely saw the power of this hero. It's always going to fall off, but I think it's going to be something to keep our eyes out for. It definitely looks solid at some stage in the game. So overall, though, this is exciting stuff for SMG. Being able to find their first series victory. For Polaris, they're going to drop down 0-3. But I still think if they can look at the positives, of course, they were able to take one game off Talent. They're able to take one game off NGXC. And honestly, in both these games, they were very competitive. And if they can just clean up couple of mistakes, then who knows, they could have taken a map, could have taken even a second game, and then we could be speaking about them winning this series. But at the end of the day, it is going to be SMG taking out last series of the night in 2-0 fashion. We're going to send to this break, and when we come back, we've got the panel and an interview with the lads on SMG.
In what can only be described as one of the most action-packed series I think I've ever seen of Dota, especially in the Southeast Asia DPC. That was just insane. I think Aries was saying the kill scores, I think it added up to being 160 kills over 2 games. Absolutely insane. But SMG, yeah, taking it 2-0. They do the same thing that they did in game 1. Somehow get dumpstered on in the laning phase, really pull it back together and clutch out a win.
Yeah, these teams both did not want to take their foot off the brake in either game. Usually like, you say that and it's like there are moments of calm. Neither of these games had any moments of calm. It's just constantly just run at each other, constantly fight. The probably big difference in both games is it felt like SMG, their drafts just scaled a bit better. So like once, you know, enough fights happen that, I mean, theoretically, if like perfect play, that, you know, Polaris can snowball these games and never lose a fight, but they needed to play that perfectly because once things started to slip away and they gave SMG these windows back into the game, how's this Pudge gonna carry? And like the damage over time, you've got Wyvern, Arctic Burn, you've got Spirit Siphon, Midnight Pulse, you're getting kited, Maleficent. There's all this crap that's just
And
impossible to play
Vessel.
against. Yeah, it was just this Pudge owned, but you just can't carry this game.
The Pudge did look good, but I feel like, you know, there was a little bit of an issue with Polaris's lineup too. I mean, we can see it's 47 minutes and all they've taken is a mid and bottom tower. You know, like, sure, they're
But
so
42
high.
kills.
I was going to say they're so high kill. The Pudge is looking good, but there's just
For the
not
fans.
a whole lot going on for Polaris. But
Yeah.
deep dive a little bit more into the carry Pudge for me, Sheep, because I know you were very, very excited to see it in SEA finally.
I mean, the lane actually went really, really well for them. I think I saw some hooks land that I think I would be raging about if I was if I was a raging potato. Like, yeah, the lane went really well. I mean, the dude looked super tanky. He took so long to die, even with all this percentage-based damage. It's like, it looks really strong. I feel like in a more ideal draft, it's unstoppable. I'm scared. I fear fear.
You need that like reliable heroes that can dish out damage alongside it, because what happens later on is like, you know, all your damage is this melee range damage. So you need some kind of like, I think TA type hero, some assassin mid hero, like whether it's an Ember, a TA, something that's gonna like scale alongside you. Maybe that can be DK, but you need your DK to be super farm for that to work. And
Yeah, I could see that. Like having a carry, it's like having a Lina or a TA,
Yeah.
those types of things. Yeah, I could see that. Or you could just put the Pudge maybe like on offlane.
yeah, I don't know.
Ah.
Maybe this Pudge carries a bit of a meme, and yeah, or mid, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I see the potential. I want to see it more. It definitely is exciting, and if like games with Pudge in it go the same way that one did, I'm down. Like, that was the most fun series we've had in C so far.
It was an absolutely phenomenal series, and I'm interested to know just what SMG thought of it. Luckily, we do have an interview with them. It is with Raging Potato. Thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on the win. How did you feel in that game 2? You guys had so much action throughout this series.
Yeah, it's good. And we felt really confident with our draft.
Yeah, was there anything during the drafts that maybe caught you by surprise, potentially the Pudge?
Nah, I see him play a lot of punch and pubs.
Okay.
Going back to the first game, you had a bit of a rough start on your Beastmaster, but managed to come back. I'm wondering how do you feel like you individually and also your team managed to come back into that game after a slow start?
We're pretty positive, 'cause we know that it's Polaris. They will fucked up.
You're just waiting for the throw.
Yeah. See, guys.
Yeah, I mean,
That's it,
you guys have done a few throws yourself, so.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, how you feel like your team's doing? You had the roster change. Pilot I came in. Things feeling pretty good for your team. How's things clicking right now?
It's pretty good. Just now, they got me baited for this interview because they want to go out and eat.
And they've left you all alone for the interview.
Yeah, because I'm still in Philippines. I'm not in the boot camp with them.
Oh, okay. I see.
Oh, that's so sad. I kind of want to just ask about your hero pool. This series, you played two pretty standard offlaners. But you know, in the past, we've seen you play offlane Ember Spirit and some other crazy stuff. Is there anything you have like an eye on in this new patch that's you think is exciting that you might be picking in the future?
I think standard stuff. The heroes that I like Earth Spirit. I don't know why they're banning it.
Do you feel that, you know, this is the patch for SMG? Do you feel that this patch is designed for you guys in the aggressive way you play?
I don't know. We'll see in the upcoming games.
Yeah, we definitely will. Ragey Potato, thank you so much for the interview and congratulations again on the series win for you guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. I can't believe his team left him.
Yeah.
like that.
I thought like it was
Yeah.
literally like just fully had left him. But before we round this out, we are going to have a quick look at the standings so we can see SMG getting a win today after their loss last week. I don't know why I forgot the word for loss for a second then. But yeah, these are the standings now. Do you guys feel a little bit surprised by anything at all? And GX having 2 losses maybe?
I don't think so because of the team. I mean, I don't think NGX. I mean, they played all right. They, you know, I think they're kind of an even match against some of those teams they played and just couldn't quite pull out the wins. I think the only maybe slight surprise with the T1 RSG when we've already talked about a lot about that at the start of today, but that was definitely the big upset so far.
Yeah, with Polaris, I guess, down there now, having lost 3 series, it is looking a little bit grim for them. I guess it's very easy to say it's now shaping up to be one of those things that you really have to start pulling out something because you just,
Yeah.
you're going to be relegated otherwise, you know?
Yeah, I definitely like did not know who would get relegated this tour.
Yeah.
Like we talked about this earlier today. We have the best of C right now in Div 1. Who knows who's going to win? Like teams are just taking wins in games and series off of people I don't think we can expect. It's just just go with the flow.
Yeah, I think the thing with Polaris that's maybe a little worrying is it feels like they're trying to find their identity. Like they're a completely different team. Obviously they've changed rosters and players, but like this series was completely different to the series last week, which was completely different to Tour 2, where it was like very farm heavy, stack heavy. So you know they're trying to reinvent themselves a bit. Maybe I think they played well until the throws started happening. So
Yeah, their early was insane.
yeah.
You were saying that, you know, for them to succeed, they definitely had to really have strong laning phases. They had that. Now I'm a little bit worried. Are they kind of struggling coming out of the laning phase and really converting that into a win? But they do still have, you know, some more series to be played. In fact, there is just going to be so much more Dota in general. However, not today. It is going to be tomorrow that we will be returning to Beyond the Summit with some more Southeast Asia action.